In this video, I want to share with you three specific but kind of broad things that really helped me improve as a parent. My children are now ages 28 and 31, and I reflected back to think, wow, if I had to boil it down to three specific areas, what really did help me improve my parenting? So I want to start this video by telling you that I was not a natural parent. It was really hard for me. And I had pretty good role models. I really had some solid parents as role models. They weren't perfect, of course, but they were good enough. So I had a lot of good programming about what good parenting could look like. And then also I thought, there's some things that I'm missing here that I would like to do differently than my parents. And I will tell you that I'm a positive discipline lead trainer. And because I wanted to learn about parenting and improve so much, I read the positive discipline book three times before I felt like I really got it all in there because it was so unfamiliar to me. And then I became a positive discipline parent educator, eventually a positive discipline trainer, and now I am a positive discipline lead trainer. So I have all these years of experience, and I wanted to look back and think, what are three areas I can recommend to parents that helped me become a better parent. And so I'll just start sharing. Number one is learning more about child development. I didn't know a lot of that when I had children. And so at first I thought my children were misbehaving, but actually they were just acting their age. Often, if we don't know about child development, we get worried when our children are misbehaving and we think, oh, if I let this behavior continue, this is going to go down a really bad path. So we catastrophize that. But it's absolutely age appropriate for toddlers to have tantrums. It doesn't mean that they're going to struggle their entire lives with anger management or patience or anything like that. It's just where they are in their journey. So that's just one example of learning more about child development and the ages and stages, especially of social and emotional development. So I'm going to make more videos about social and emotional development to help you become more aware of what are some really typical behaviors, misbehaviors that are annoying, but are completely age appropriate. So I'll make more videos about that. But learning about child development helped me so much, especially the social and emotional stages. That's number one. Number two was focusing on developing social and emotional skills for my children, giving them opportunities to do that, and especially doing that when they were doing behaviors that challenged me, challenging behaviors. I focused on, okay, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity here. What skill is my child lacking? What skill can I help them develop? So in positive discipline workshops, which is an international curriculum, there's this two list that we make in every class. If you go to a positive discipline class, we'll make the two list. And list number one are the challenging behaviors. List number two is what life skills do you want your child to develop by the time they're an adult and go out in the world? And so we have this big list, and then we can focus on, wow, this is an opportunity here, this challenging situation to really help my child develop some life skills. Now, it doesn't happen just in the moment. There's a process that we work through, and I'll talk about that more in other videos. But really thinking about what life skill can my child learn through this mistake they have just made? Or, wow, my child doesn't have the life skill of making this type of decision. How can I help them to be a better decision maker or get all the information to make an informed decision? So also things like calm down skills. So I mentioned earlier that it's age appropriate for toddlers to have tantrums, but how can as the toddlers turn into 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, how can I help them develop that skill of how to calm down? What are some techniques like taking deep breaths and talking about it and doing some physical activity to get the stress out? all those are tools that will help them uh, cope with those difficult feelings, those stressful feelings, that they can do those instead of having the tantrum. They can maybe move on to start using self-calming skills, and that is a skill they will use the rest of their lives. So the child's having a tantrum. Number one, I said it's age appropriate. Number two, I said, well, I can start modeling some skills. I can talk about what I'm doing when I'm stressed. And then later when they're ready, I can be with them and do co-regulation with them first. Co-regulation means you're calming down or regulating your emotions with someone else. Someone's helping you do it. And most of us are very familiar with that. We just don't know it by that word co-regulation. So when your child is sad and you open up your arms and give them a big hug and then let them cry, that's co-regulation. That's one example. There's many ways to do it. But I focused on what skill do they need next, and just the baby step to the next skill, and the baby step and the baby step, so that eventually this toddler who has no self-calming skills learns how to co-regulate and calm down with an adult, with a safe adult, and then starts gradually learning to do some little self-regulation skills and coping skills, self-calming skills on their own. And as they get older, they take on more of that responsibility, and I encourage them to do that, as well as they're not always having to do it by themselves. So part of being in a relationship with anybody, with a partner, with a child, is sometimes we just need co-regulation. We just can't do it ourselves. Anyway, just focusing on those life skills helped me get excited about teaching them the next step in their lives, the next tool, the next skill they could learn, instead of getting so frustrated. Now, I do want to be clear that before I learned this belief, this point of view about behavior, that it's age appropriate, that I can teach them life skills, I did get pretty frustrated. So I'm not saying that, oh, this was just so easy peasy for me to do. I told you I was not a natural parent. I read the Positive Discipline book 3 times. And then I got the certification to teach the parenting classes, because when we teach something, that helps us learn it. That's the best way to learn something, is to teach it to other people. But I still made tons of mistakes in learning these new tools. And my kids made mistakes, but part of positive discipline is learning to embrace mistakes as part of the learning process, part of being human, and that we have tools to go back and repair from those mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So that's another social and emotional tool or skill, life skill, that I taught my kids and modeled for my kids a lot, because I made a lot of mistakes. Was mistakes are wonderful opportunities to learn. How can we repair and learn something from that, so that in the future we'll do something differently? And I can make more videos about the individual tools that Positive Discipline has. We have so many wonderful ones. And the tools, most of them focus on developing life skills, how to develop life skills for us, because sometimes as parents, we need to set our boundaries and be firm. We're going to be respectful at the same time, but we're not going to let our kids run all over us or run the house. Those are life skills for us. So most of the tools are teaching the parents life skills, as well as teaching children life skills, or giving children many opportunities to learn and practice life skills. So again, that second thing that helped me improve my parenting was to focus on teaching those life skills, and knowing that when there were challenging behaviors and mistakes, those were opportunities for my children and for me to learn some new tools. And then the uh, third thing that helped me improve my parenting the most was inner work. And the Positive Discipline classes and book can help you and helped me in that way too. So one of the chapters in the Positive Discipline book is called Lifestyle Priorities, and it helps you identify what your big values and your priorities in life that kind of guide your decisions and your beliefs. These are beliefs really that guide your decisions as you go through the day and go through your life and make choices. And after identifying my lifestyle priority, then of course there were some suggestions on what you can do to make improvements. And of course, we all individualize as well. So I got some guidance about how to improve on my lifestyle priority, because all of the lifestyle priorities have assets or strengths. They also have some liabilities. And so I that lifestyle priority really helped me. That's one of the chapters in Jane Nelson's book, Positive Discipline. And more inner work was really examining my belief system. Often in positive discipline, when we're doing activities in parenting classes, we'll do a role play, and one person's role playing the child doing a certain behavior, and one person is role playing the parent. And then after the role play, we say, okay, stop now, child. If you're role playing the child, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you deciding? Okay, hey, parent, what are you thinking, feeling, and deciding? And after doing this a lot to myself, wow, in this situation, what am I thinking, feeling, and deciding? I got to learn a little bit more, a lot more actually, about my internal belief system and how I was putting that internal belief system on my children, about how I thought children should behave, um, and really maybe I thought I was allowing their individuality, but probably not. I was probably putting too much on them about how I wanted them to do things. So that was a big journey that I went on, because my parents did, and they embraced individuality, and so I got some of that from my parents, but I got even more from learning about my own lifestyle priority, and how I was my lens, how I was kind of viewing the world and viewing what my children should and shouldn't be doing. And it's not that I let go of the limits and safety limits that they needed in their life. It's just to help me relax more when they made mistakes, and recognize that, oh, I'm putting my value on that. Maybe my child doesn't value the same things that I value. They're going to have a lot of values that are similar. They're going to have some values that are different, and that's okay, because they're individuals. They're not a carbon copy of me. Let's see. Also, some inner work was, I learned about my strengths as a parent. We all have strengths usually as a parent. And then we all have some challenges that we're like, oh, I'm not really good at that. I can work on it and get better. And using that growth mindset. And so learning really about my weaknesses, my challenges, what are my buttons that get pushed? There's certain behaviors that our children do that really push our buttons, really get us stressed. And so that helped me identify what my buttons are. I focused on what they were and try to disconnect those buttons, like cut the wires and the imaginary wires that are in my head about that behavior. So there's just a lot. Let me look at my notes to see if I have one more note about, one more note about learning about myself and my inner work was to read more and learn more about my attachment style. So attachment styles are pretty popular these days. There's been a few books written about them, and some great YouTube videos about the attachment styles. And I learned more about my style and about the circle of security attachment cycle that happens. Anyway, just learning more about how I became attached as a child and what my attachment style was, and maybe some pieces I could work on to be even more secure in my attachment style. That was also really helpful, because often we're parenting from our wounds from our childhood, and once we recognize those wounds, heal those wounds, life seems to calm down as a parent a little bit. Just knowing, oh, that's my stuff. That's my kid's just being a kid. What's coming up for me is my own stuff from my past. I need to figure that out so that I'm not approaching this situation with my child with all my baggage, bringing that forward too. I'm trying to get rid of that baggage and just look at the behavior for what it is, what stage my child is in, and what life skill maybe they can learn or don't have. So a lot of inner work helped me to become a better parent. So if you are working on becoming a better parent, those are three big ideas I recommend. And that was one, learning more about child development, especially social and emotional development. There's not a lot out there, so I'm going to be sharing more videos about what's age appropriate. And then two, focusing on life skills. There's so many life skills that we need our children to learn to become responsible and respectful and contributing adults in the society. So I'll make more videos about that as well. And then inner work, figuring out what's going on in here that is really preventing me from being the parent I'd like to be. And yeah. All right. So I look forward to making more videos, but I wanted to share those three big ideas in case that might help any parent out there who's looking for ways to improve. So I'm Kelly Pfeiffer. I'm a positive discipline lead trainer. I have been using positive discipline since 1994. So that's a lot of years. And it's the it's just really been helpful for me. So anyway, I'll be making more videos. I'm a grandmother now. I have a 1-year-old granddaughter, and I'm just so excited about watching her grow through the stages and learning life skills. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you in future videos. If you like this video, you can click the thumbs up button below. Also, you can click the subscribe button if you want to get notifications about the upcoming videos I make. Thanks.